Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got hands on the latest iPhone 17 Pro, which is Apple's flagship iPhone for 2025, and this replaces my old Pixel 5. Now my Pixel 5 is ready to retire and I was desperate for an upgrade, so I chose the iPhone 17 Pro. So I've spent 3 months with this phone and I want to walk you through everything: unboxing, likes, dislikes, and my honest opinion on whether if it's a worthy upgrade in 2026. So let's jump straight into it. So I wanted something that's light, mobile, fast, powerful, and something that I can take around with me as a daily driver, while I can also take photos and videos of great quality that I can just post it online whenever I want to. On top of that, I was curious to see what Apple's new tech has to offer. The last Apple phone that I used was the iPhone 7, and after that I jumped into Android because it lacked a lot of features, and now I'm back into Apple just to check it out, see what the hype is about. Alright, let's start with the unboxing. Straight out of the box, if you open it up, you can see you've got your iPhone in here, which looks pretty in silver, and then you've just got your charging cable. And you've also got the SIM ejection tool and bunch of paperwork, but there's nothing much to it. The unboxing experience remains similar to what Apple does the best, and I wish they spice it up once a while. But hey, the phone looks great, the packaging looks great, and I don't have many things to complain about. So let's get into the pricing and models. So in the US, the iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1,099 for the base 256 model, and then it kind of goes up from there. In Australia, that means it starts at around $1,999 for the base 256 model. This is for the 17 Pro. You've got iPhone 17 and 17 Air that is priced below iPhone 17 Pro. In terms of storage options, you've got 256 gigs, you've got 512 gigs and 1 terabyte. 256 gigs is the base model. They don't have 128 gigs anymore that you used to find in iPhone 16. And I think this is kind of marketed to the content heavy users like videographers, filmmakers, YouTubers, etc. All right, let's talk colors. So the iPhone 17 Pro comes in 3 colors and there's one hidden color. So the first color is cosmic orange, the second color is silver, that's what I have got, and then the third color is deep blue. The fourth color is very limited. You can only get it by exposing your cosmic orange color in extreme sunlight, and that is cosmic pink, but Apple doesn't sell it straight out of the box. You have to get the cosmic orange, put it under sun for a long period of time, and maybe, just maybe, you will be able to achieve it. Well, with iPhone 17 Pro, there is no black this year, which I think is not good. The cosmic orange, not many people will like it. You'll have very few people who really like it, and then there's majority of the other people who find it like an eyesore. But the silver one I think is the most popular one, and I know why it is. It's the safest choice. If there was a black color, then that would be my pick. But it's a shame that they don't come in black. Alright, so for what's happening on the phone, the body itself is made out of forged aluminum and the color is kind of anodized on top of it. So the aluminum unibody I feel is a bit soft and it's prone to scratching. I've not managed to scratch mine yet. It is always in a case, but I have seen people scratching it up very easily. Aluminum is generally a very soft metal. In the past, iPhone 16s and the predecessors used like stainless steel, titanium, etc. So that was much more stronger, more durable. Aluminum chips very easily. So I would recommend that you keep the phone inside a very strong case. If your phone falls, it's bound to scratch. There's no way you are not getting a scratch if the phone falls on the floor or something. Alright, so this phone weighs around 206 grams and I would not call it light by any means. I think they've switched to aluminum because when they fit a bigger battery and have the stainless steel or titanium body, it will make it more heavier, and I think they wanted to keep the weight down, so they have this weird aluminum with the glass back. However, it is still light to hold. It feels a bit premium. The brushed aluminum gives you a premium feel. When I use my wife's iPhone 14 Pro, it feels like a brick. It's solid, has like very sharp edges. So for the screen, it is protected using the Ceramic Shield 2 technology, which is more scratch resistant. It has better performance than the original Ceramic Shield technology in iPhone 16 Pro. On the rear, you've got glass on the cameras and a bit on the back. It is still the original Ceramic Shield technology. So the rear camera array is now housed in this plateau kind of thing. It's like a camera bump that kind of stretches throughout the width of the phone, and Apple is calling it as a plateau. I think it was a plateau in the past as well, but since it's extending throughout the width, the phone is a bit more stable when you keep it flat on the table. In the past, the iPhone 16 Pros and all the other models we used to rock because the plateau was kind of in one corner, but since now it's extending throughout the width, it's great. And this plateau kind of helps free up some space in the body so that they can fit a bigger battery, thereby increasing the battery's capacity and its life. Alright, so let's talk about the display. So the display is a 6.3-inch OLED panel with similar pixel resolution as the iPhone 16 Pro. So in terms of that, there's no improvement on the panel. However, the peak brightness on the screen can go up to 3000 nits. That is significantly higher than 16 Pro, which could achieve 2000 nits. And this is an improvement from the previous generation. So the screen also comes with ProMotion, which is the adaptive refresh rate that ranges from 1 Hz to 120 Hz. And that is amazing for the overall user experience. The liquid glass thing that they try to do, the games that you want to play, higher refresh rates improves the overall user experience of the phone. Standard items such as always on display, HDR, True Tone, wide color P3, haptic touch, etc. is all included in iPhone 17 Pro, and I think it is very standard across all the iPhones at the moment. Fun fact, I recently came to know that the iPhone's OLED panels is generally manufactured by Samsung or LG, and that's quite surprising since I find Samsung's AMOLED display much better than iPhone's OLED display. And I don't know why, since the manufacturers are the same. Maybe Apple has their own thing, but please let me know down in the comments and I would appreciate a bit of knowledge. Thank you. Alright, let's talk about CPU and performance. So all the new iPhone 17s are powered using the new A19 chip, which has 6-core CPU and 6-core GPU. iPhone 17 Pro also utilizes the famous vapor chamber technology, which is a thermal heat management system. It's basically a metal enclosure that has deionized water in it. And the idea is that whenever the CPU heats up, it vaporizes the water, and that vapor kind of moves into the cooler regions of the phone, and then it kind of condenses back into water and the cycle continues. So essentially it is kind of spreading the heat across the whole body, and since the vapor chamber is built into the aluminum unibody, it essentially uses the whole phone as a big heat sink. So if you look at Geekbench's performance results, you can see that the single core performance is between 3500 to 3800. That keeps iPhone 17 Pro amongst the fastest smartphones for everyday tasks. Then the multi-core score you can see is around 9300 to 9900. It shows that it is a solid multitasker and it can handle multiple apps with ease. Then you can also see the GPU computational score, that is around 45,000, and that is excellent, and it's a big increase from the previous iPhone 16 models. And I think it is because the A19 chip with its improved cooling and thermal design can sustain workloads and should stay efficient for longer without slowdowns. When you think about networking capabilities, it has got Wi-Fi 7, updated wireless networking chip, it has modern 5G LTE bands, so performance and future proofing is not an issue. In Australia, the iPhone 17 Pro by default comes with a SIM card slot. So that means that the battery is around 4000 mAh. And I know that in other countries, you can get the eSIM version without a SIM card slot. And for them, the battery is around 4250 odd mAh. The battery life on the iPhone is rated at around 33 hours by Apple for video playback. And it also supports fast charging. That means you can get 50% charge in 20 minutes using a 40-watt charger, which is not provided in the box. iPhone 17 Pro also supports wireless charging using the MagSafe technology, and it kind of takes around 30 minutes to get 50% charge if you're using a 30-watt adapter plus a MagSafe charger. To be honest, at this stage, I'm really impressed with the way the phone has lasted throughout a day, and my usage is a bit of a mix. I use it for like videography, some editing, and some light tasks. So the phone has no issues lasting throughout the day. The phone also does not heat that much. I know my wife uses an iPhone 14 Pro and that heats up quite a lot, especially if you are shooting outdoors. But this one, it remains cool for a long period of time, and that is something that I really appreciate. Alright, let's talk about the camera department because it has the biggest upgrade. So as standard, all three sensors are now 48 megapixel across the board, and that includes your standard lens, your ultra wide lens, and your telephoto lens. Telephoto lens has the biggest upgrade from 12 megapixel in iPhone 16 Pro to now 48 megapixels. This gives you significantly more zoom reach, which I'll explain shortly. So the front camera is now upgraded from 12 megapixel in 16 Pro to 18 megapixels in 17 Pro. The new front camera is also a wider lens, so that means you can take a wider shot while taking a selfie, and it also features the new center stage technology for better selfies, better videos, and just better photos in general. Along with the center stage technology, you can now do dual capture, in which you can use your back camera and front camera simultaneously. I don't know who needs this. Maybe it's great for tutorials or like point and shoot demonstrations. No idea. But I really like this feature. It kind of feels like I am in like a Teams call with my own self. But hey, let me know in the comments if you have a use case for this feature. So let's talk about telephoto lens because that has the biggest upgrade. So the telephoto lens is now 48 megapixel. That is a significant upgrade to the 12 megapixel in the 16 Pro. But it is only limited to 4 times zoom because Apple markets the telephoto lens as an 8-time optical like zoom, which is kind of a gray area. So when you use a telephoto lens and you use the 4x zoom, so it uses the lens and it takes the photo. It does not do any digital cropping, digital interpolation, and any of those things. So it results in a more crisper, kind of brighter, better detailed shot. But when you want to go from 4x zoom to 8x zoom on a telephoto lens, what it does is that it takes a photo using the 4x lens and then it crops the center to give you the 8x output. So in reality, the real optical zoom is 4x, and then after 4x it's more like a digital zoom, but it is marketed as optical like. I don't know why that is the thing, but that is actually what it is doing. Alright, and finally, for all the pro features in the 17 Pro, because this is the 17 Pro. So iPhone 17 Pro is the first iPhone that can support ProRes RAW with Log 2 color profile and Gen Lock. It is absolutely amazing that a phone can do it because this is kind of a higher end feature that you can find in bigger cameras, but now you can do it in your iPhone. It also supports 4K Dolby Vision and video recording up to 120 frames per second. However, it takes a lot of storage, so you can also hook up an external solid state drive, which is I think the recommended way to do. I don't think it does it on the internal storage, but I'm yet to test it out. It has dual capture, spatial video, macro video, video slow motion, time lapse, night time lapse, all of that. iPhone 17 Pro also has better stabilization mechanics when it comes to videography. So if you like taking videos, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how stable and smooth the footage is. Even if your hand shakes a bit, even if you're walking on the street, the video output is generally very smooth and has less jitters and handshakes, and I really appreciate that. You should know that iPhone 17 does not support ProRes RAW, but if you are not fussed about it, you don't do color grading, you don't do video processing, all of that stuff, then that's okay. You don't really need the ProRes RAW. But if you are into films, if you are into videography, then I think it's a great asset and you should give it a shot. Let's talk about things that I liked about this phone. So the first thing that I liked about the phone is the camera versatility. So you've got the 48 megapixel sensors across all three lenses. So they have like even performance when you switch between the lenses. The cameras take like really nice saturated photos. Sometimes it's a bit touch oversaturated, but I really enjoyed the overall picture quality, the outputs that it gives. The videography is amazing as well. You get like super crisp, stable shots. And it kind of takes out a lot of your hand movements and hand jittering, etc. So I really enjoy that part of it. If you want to take shots that require you to zoom in a bit, then you can confidently zoom in at least up to 4x and not lose on a lot of detail, which is a big win. And it's perfect for someone who likes to take videos. So the cameras also perform really well in low light. However, I've not tried to test it out explicitly in low light, but for what I've seen, it is really good. The center stage technology is also great. Whenever I do like a Teams call or whenever I call using WhatsApp, I can move around a bit and the camera kind of follows me uses artificial intelligence and kind of does that, which is amazing. The performance and thermal design is also a big win. The phone stays cool under heavy usage scenarios, and I've not witnessed any kind of overheating issues whenever I've taken videos or photos, done some video editing on the phone. The thermal performance has always been great. The ProMotion display is amazing, feels buttery soft, and that is also welcome. I really like the liquid glass. It kind of gives you a different feel to the phone. The haptics are great. The phone is buttery smooth. There's no lag or performance issues that I've run into yet. So the next thing that I really liked is the battery and its everyday performance. On light usage, the phone easily lasts for like 24-25 hours. And for heavier usage, it kind of lasts around 18 hours. But this is my personal usage. It differs differently with other people as well. And it charges really quickly. I plug it in using like a 30-watt charger, and it charges to like 50% in like 20-25, maybe 30 minutes. And it is great because I just plug it in, do something and come back to it, and it's kind of ready to go. And even if it is like 60%, it can easily last throughout the day, which is a great relief. Alright, let's talk about things that I don't like about this phone. The first thing that I don't like is that it does not have a base 128 gig version. So the phone has jumped from $999 to $1099 for a base 256 gig model. However, if there was a 128 gig model on this phone, I would have taken that, because all the videography that I do, I don't keep it on my phone. I just take it onto an external SSD for like offline, like on computer processing. So I don't need that big of a space. And I would appreciate a slightly lesser price with a slightly lesser storage. Alright, so the other thing that I don't like about this phone is the choice of metal. I personally like aluminium, and I always keep my phone in a case. But I also know some people who don't like to put a case on their iPhone, and this year's iPhone will require a case if you don't want it to be scratched or dinged. This phone inherently will scratch over its life, especially along the charging port, because most chargers have metal tips. The other thing that I don't like about this phone is the camera button. I don't know why this button has made a comeback. Also, if this button could be customizable, that'll be great, because your action button, you can easily customize it. But this button, yeah, I mean, if I can like click this button and open up an app, I would rather have that than the camera, because it's too far down. It's very like, I have long fingers and I just can't operate that button without risking the phone to kind of accidentally fall down. So the next thing that I don't like about this phone is Apple Intelligence or Siri. It can't do multiple tasks. It just does simple tasks like set an alarm or set a reminder or whatever. But I like Gemini or Alexa more than Siri. It can do many other multitasking kind of things. It can follow two commands, but Siri is like a bit on the less brighter side, I would say. So that is another thing that I don't really enjoy. So what do I think about this phone? It feels like a powerful do-it-all phone. It has a great camera, it is versatile enough for both video and photo, whether it's day or night. Its performance is robust. It is amazing for editing videos and doing those kind of heavy tasks. It is good at gameplay. It has a higher refresh rate. It has great battery, great screen, which is very bright in outdoor environments. So if you're a creator, a traveler, a person who really enjoys using their phone, if you have got long work days, etc., I think this phone provides greater flexibility and overall amazing performance for what it is priced at. And it is an absolute steal for the $1,099 that it retails at. Alright, so that was my time. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.